And good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Schooner Morning Show. Our guest today is a longtime employee. You wouldn't think that because he's so young still, but Roy has been with us. Roy Foster has been with us for a long time now. How long, Roy?
Almost 12 years.
12 years. 12 years. And he comes from a hierarchy of relatives that work here. Your grandmother.
My grandmother, Bonnie.
Bonnie has worked here for decades.
A long time, yeah.
And she works, you never see Bonnie. She's 11 to 7. She's been in Seville Park Plaza, the residential care, and now works down at Schooner Memory Care, our brand new building over the banking. And then Mom has worked here for years and years as well.
Yeah, I think 18, something like that.
18 or so years. So it was only natural when you were looking for a job.
Yeah, I was looking for a job, and they were like, "Oh, I'll hire my son. He's looking for a job." Perfect.
So you must have started entry level in the dish room, maybe?
Yeah, I worked in the dish room for 5 years, worked my way through preps, and became the prep cook, and now I'm a cook here.
And excellent training. I mean, I know that
yes,
you've been I mean, Seth and Todd tell me all the time you're an excellent student.
I try to be.
That you really want to learn and you really enjoy it.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. There's always something new and exciting. And
right.
Just try to mix it up.
And it must be nice to hear the tenants all rave about the food.
Yes, I love hearing, even the bad things I like to hear, because anything can be improved upon.
Wow, what a great attitude. So, Roy, where were you born? Were you born locally?
I was born in Lewiston, Central Maine. I grew up in Lewiston, right down the road, Lincoln Street.
Yeah.
Right on the river. And I was there for 18 years, and then my parents moved to Wales, where we are now.
Yeah.
Which is just over near Sabattis.
Right. Over by the lake, Sabattis Lake, and that, I think it's 36 or something that goes down that way.
And been there ever since, and I love working here. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Get to do all kinds of things.
Well, I hear it from the tenants all the time. I remember we used to take 2 and 3 vehicles sometimes out to eat on a special day, and then I went down to maybe 8 people at a time, and I said, why? What's going on? How come you folks don't want to go out to eat? And overwhelmingly, they said, because the food is better here. Why would we go to a restaurant when the food's better here?
Yeah.
That knocked me on my side. I couldn't believe it.
We love hearing that.
That is wonderful. They do an absolute wonderful job, and Roy has been an integral part of that, along with all of the other cooks that just love what they do, and they love to learn, and Seth and Todd are good teachers, and things seem to be going very, very well. So tell me, what are some of your hobbies that you do when you're not working at Schooner Estates?
All kinds of things. I hunt, fish, canoe. I ride the motorcycle a lot.
I know you had a motorcycle.
Yeah, I have a Harley Davidson. Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Right. Where do you go canoeing?
Anywhere really where I can fish. I've been up to the Farmington, New Vineyard area, Porter Lake.
So you would throw the canoe into a lake or even a stream or a river or something? Anywhere, body of water, and go out there and cast the line?
Been to Bucher and Sand Pond right down the road from my house.
Yeah.
And I go there a lot too.
Yeah.
Good trout fishing and stuff like that.
Where do you hunt?
At my grandfather's mostly now. Right out back of his house is about 100 acres, and we have permission to hunt that, and we've gotten deer off of that every single year.
Private property, 100 acres.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, we've had permission to hunt that for forever.
Boy, that's nice.
Yeah.
Isn't it nice to have that family connection, all of the things?
Yep, I love my family. I love that this place is about family, and I have a work family in the kitchen, so I strongly believe in that, so it's a lot of fun working with family.
Well, Roy, I've seen you from the beginning up to now, and you've really turned into quite a man.
Well, thank you.
We're all very proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for tuning in. Our guest today, Roy Foster, cook in the kitchen. started with Schooner a long time ago. Mom works here and the grandmom works here, and it's a family affair. We all love it. Win-win all the way around. Stay tuned next week for another edition of the Schooner Morning Show. And good morning, everybody. Welcome once again back to the Schooner Morning Show with Mark Prevost. That sign will be changing, but anyway, in the meantime, we are here with Marianne Quinn. She's one of our nurses here at Schooner Estates. Marianne, how long have you been here at Schooner?
I have been here just over a year, Mark.
Over a year now.
Yeah.
And what do you think of the place?
I love it here. It's the best place I've ever worked.
Aren't the tenants that live here just wonderful people?
I can't say enough about them. I've worked with the older population before, and it is truly my love. That's my niche of where I need to be.
Oh, me too. I agree with you 100%. And the staff here, we're so blessed.
The staff are amazing. Everybody's a team. Everybody works together and pulls together, and it's home for it's home for the tenants, but it's also home for the staff.
Absolutely. And I think we all feel that way. That's great to hear.
I agree.
Marianne, tell me where you were born.
I was born right here in Maine, in Gardner.
Gardner, Maine.
So not far from here.
Yeah?
Yep.
E.J. Prescott, that family, and the Prescott family that does the piping all around town. And
you know, that name doesn't even...
No kidding, they
it
own
doesn't
Gardner.
ring a bell with me anymore.
And did you go to school locally?
I went to Prey Street School for grade school. Actually lived right across the street from it, so it was convenient. I could go home for lunch and back, back and forth. Then we moved to Augusta, so I went to school in Augusta. Then we moved to Winthrop because we had a camp on Cobbessy and it got winterized. And
wow!
When I graduated from 8th grade, I actually moved to California because that's where my parents were moving. So I finished high school in California and stayed there until the late 70s, and then I moved back to Maine because that's where my family had moved again.
Wow, wow. Now what did your parents do that they had to move like that?
My dad was in newspaper.
Okay.
And not that he had to move, but he liked to move.
Yeah, he liked something different after a while.
He did.
I know a lot of people like that.
Yep, it was actually hard for me to leave all my friends
always
and move to a new location going into high school. It was really tough, to be honest with you.
Sure it is, yeah.
Yeah.
But growing up on Cobbessy Lake for however long, the winter ice fishing and skating and snowmobiling and whatever, then in the summer, how glorious is that?
I know, I am still a water person to this day.
That's such a big lake too. It's just
it's beautiful.
Fun to explore.
Yeah.
And then all the way out to California.
I know.
What part of California?
Well, so again, my dad, who was the wanderlust, we landed down in almost the Los Angeles area and stayed there a couple of years, and then we moved to the high desert, so very, dry and sandy and hot. And then we ended up in a town called Merced, which had the feeling of Maine, except it wasn't winter.
Yes.
There were tree-lined streets and green grass and a lot of nice people.
Yeah, and that's just north of Hollywood, isn't it, Merced?
Merced is like right in the center of California.
Yeah.
In between Los Angeles and San Francisco, if you would. Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, I want to say that my aunt lived in Merced because, boy, does that sound familiar. And my cousin and I went out to visit her. And I am almost sure that was the town they lived in.
It's about an hour north of Fresno.
Yeah.
If that sounds familiar to you.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Boy, that's nice. What a wonderful experience. I know it's difficult as a young person to be uprooted from your friends and change and everything, but you were very blessed to have that experience.
Well, I think it helped round me out as a person, because it gave me a lot of experiences that I never would have had before.
Sure, exactly.
Yeah.
So how did you end up going to nursing school? What brought you into the field?
When I lived in California and I was out on my own, I went to work for the welfare department. And I took a position that took me over to the community hospital, but I was still working for the welfare department. And because I worked second shift, I was hanging around in the emergency room.
Yeah.
And that's where my love for healthcare started, was right there.
In the emergency room, seeing emergencies.
Yep.
And you didn't mind the blood or the open wounds?
No. My position was to go and talk to people coming into the emergency room who didn't have insurance, to get them signed up for the what we call main care here.
Right.
Out there they call it Medi-Cal.
Medi-Cal, yeah.
And I was signing people up for that so that their bills would be paid for.
Right.
But in my downtimes, I was, kind of hanging out at the desk at the emergency room, and people would come in, they go, "That one's for you."
Wow.
So, it was that exposure, and I went, "Gee, I really like this medical thing."
Wow,
Yeah.
that is so wonderful.
Yeah.
So from there you decided, I'm going to sign up for nursing school.
I decided I was going to go to nursing school. I looked into doing it there in California, and I was like, well, you know what? All my family's back in Maine. I might as well go back to Maine.
Yeah.
And my parents graciously said, yes, I could come back and live with them, so I wouldn't have the added expense of that.
Right.
And the University of Maine at Augusta had a wonderful nursing program, a 2-year associate degree, and I was able to get my nursing degree in 2 years. So.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
fantastic. I'm curious, where did your parents end up when they moved back to Maine? Did they go back to Cobbessy or?
No, at the time that I lived with them, they lived in Windsor, and their final place that they lived in was Winthrop. So they moved back to the lakes area, but
Yes.
not right on
Right.
Cobbessy again.
Boy, oh boy, your dad was a nomad. He really liked to move around.
He did. It was just
Tired of the same old house all the time. Was he a projects guy? Was he always fixing things?
Oh, he was always doing something.
Always doing something. So
Yep.
to get
Yep.
the house the way he wanted it, and it's time for something new.
Yep, let's move on.
That's amazing.
A
to me.
job would call him someplace else, and he'd be like, I think we should go.
Well, well, it's a good way to live life and experience life. And
Well, right,
You can
because-
always come back.
You can always come back
Right,
home. Absolutely.
right. So tell me, when you're not nursing, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies?
Oh my gosh, I like to hike. I got bitten by the hiking bug a couple of years ago. I didn't used to like to hike, but I lost a lot of weight and got really healthy. And then I was like, okay, now that I'm healthy, I got to do something to stay active.
Right.
And decided that hiking was the thing for me. So anybody who's friends of mine on Facebook knows that I post a lot of where I've been walking today on the days that I'm not here at Schooner.
Right,
So I do
right.
that. I volunteer for an organization called Pets for Vets. So we are a nonprofit looking to match companion animals with veterans who need a buddy.
Oh, wonderful.
So I do that, and I also do another volunteer gig as a volunteer with the local miniature pincher rescue.
Miniature pincher.
Yeah, they look like a Doberman,
Yeah.
except they're a very small version of it.
A mini, yeah.
Yeah.
So you must have pets yourself then. If
I
you're-
do. I have a miniature pincher.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
She's 14, so she's slowing down a little bit, but
Yeah.
she's still my buddy. And I have a domestic cat, a house cat, a white, short-haired cat with double paws.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Double paws.
Yeah.
We'll have to get a picture of that. Put it
Yeah.
on channel 1390.
There you go.
We love to post pictures on 1390. Lindsay Remington takes care of that for us, and we're always looking for interesting things.
There you
and
go.
when you can associate a picture of an animal, especially something rare like that,
Sure.
with
sure.
one of the staff, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, very, very interesting.
Why, thank you.
Yes, it's great, and it's great to have you on board.
Thank you
We
so much.
appreciate your help, we really do.
Thank you so much.
People are so nice, and
It's a blessing to be here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the fact that Cindy Swift reached out to me and said, I need your help.
Right. And
Yep.
she obviously knew that you had the heart for it, because
Right.
I always say, when we're hiring, we want to hire the heart.
Yep.
We can always train the rest of it.
Yep.
But the heart is something that you really can't train somebody for.
No, you can't.
You have it or you don't.
True.
And you obviously have it.
Thank you so much.
Not only for people, but for pets as well. Well, Marianne, thank you very, very much. It was easy, wasn't it?
Oh, it was very easy.
Very easy. You encourage other people to come and do the interview as well.
I absolutely will.
I'm sure Samantha will continue to do this. We'll just change the sign. Instead of Mark Prevost, it'll say Samantha on there. But I'm sure she'll keep doing it, because it's just a wonderful thing to get to know the folks that live and work here.
Absolutely, I agree.
Definitely. Well, thank you. Marianne Quinn, ladies and gentlemen, RN right here at Schooner Estates Senior Living Community. Until we see you again, have a wonderful week.
Bye.